Hi guys, it's Dane from saharipro. So I just wanted to give you a couple of tips on this system. This is the Batocera system. So basically the first thing you really want to do is, the best thing I recommend is a PS4 controller. Because for this example it makes things really easy. But this button here is like what we can call the power key. So what we do, if we want to like save state, we want to press the power key and then like the square button. And if we want to load, we press the power key and then the triangle button. And the way you set that up is if you go into, if we press space or start on the controller, and we go down to controller and Bluetooth settings, and then controller mapping, and then we can set up the controller. So if I press enter now, it'll give me a load of stuff to do. Now I've already set this up, so if you get my system, it's already set up to be this to be the power button, right? But right at the bottom there'll be a thing that says power button, and it's also written on the instructions as well. So that's how we do it. Now, so to exit something as well, is you press the power button in the start. So I'm just going to show you an example now. So I'm just going to go into my PlayStation, and then I'm just going to launch this game, right? And this system runs off a RetroArch, or a lot of it runs off RetroArch. But basically, you'll see, if I just let the game run. So now if I press the power button and the start button together, it'll come out of the system as if I'm pressing escape on the keyboard. And if I go back into it again now, and I press the power button and the square button, it'll save state, and the power button and the triangle button, it'll load. Now, obviously, try not to get them two the wrong way around. You might want to write a little note. But if I just press power button and the square button, you'll see it says there at the bottom, saved slot to slot 2. And then if I press the triangle button, with the triangle button, it says loaded. So it's just loaded it back, right? Now, there's many things you can do with all those types of things. So if I press power button and X, I'm going to bring up the RetroArch menu here. And then I can go down and do whatever I want. I can change the save slots or whatever. And if I just press escape or resume, then I'm back to where I was, okay? So, but any USB-A controller will work with this system. So anything with a USB on the end of it, you know, just your typical normal USB like that, anything with that on the end. But obviously if it needs to have this extra button, because, you know, you need an extra button to be able to press for it to do the things that you want it to do. And you could set it to like right click on the controller and then X if you wanted to. You could set it to X, I guess, but then you wouldn't be able to use X, you know what I mean? So that's why you need this extra button. You could set it to this as well. I think that is an actual extra button, but this just makes it a lot easier. You can also use an Xbox controller because they have the little button in the middle as well. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about is if you're having trouble loading a game, sometimes different computers have obviously different components. So when you plug it in my USB system or the SSD system, sometimes it can be a bit funky. So, but the way you solve that is you can go into any system, like again my PS1, and then I'm just going to hold down the X button here, and you'll see this little side menu comes up, and then I can go up to advanced game options. And now what's this going to do? You'll see at the top it says emulator, and I can change that to be whatever emulator I want. And if I click enter, I can choose. So you can change from DuckStation or whatever you want. Usually auto just means the one that's the most compatible, basically. But if you're having trouble running it, that's how you can get around it. And you can do it for individual games. And so yeah, just play around with that, basically. That usually helps, and you can do that for different systems. Now bear in mind, the things that I've just told you about the power button and square, it will work differently on different systems. It's not like that for every single one. I was just showing an example for the PlayStation, but just, you know, play around with it a bit. Obviously I've got written instructions with it as well, but generally it's power button and something that's going to do the trick for you. So hopefully that helps.